So I was given to evaluate this property. I won't show the address just in case. But I want to show you how I'm evaluating it and what I'm thinking about it, because it's an interesting one. So it's a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bath type of situation on 0.4 acres. We have almost 3,000 square feet, 1963 year build, no pool. So on this one, and it is in Ennis, Texas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my thinking on this property, so this way you can see what I have concluded so far about whether or not this is a good flip. So this is supposedly for a flip. Okay, so first what attracted my attention is that how many days? For a whole year, notice that the criteria of approximately the same size house, only 2 properties have closed. That's for a whole year. And then we have 4 actives. To me, that is not a lot of closed, and also the data between the spread is pretty large. This one sold for $510, 1999 square feet, 1999 year build, and almost the same square footage as our subject property. And this one sold for $400, 2620 square feet, and 1900 year build. So I think that the low price on this one was partially to blame for this low sale price on it, but still we still only have 1 comp for the subject property in this case. Even if we go, so we might have to go a little bit further out, maybe 1.5 miles, just to see what else is available, as long as it's still in Ennis, and see if we can find more sold properties, because the sold properties are going to guide us through. And I do see that we have a couple more sold properties popping up, but let's double check that they're within approximately our area, and they're not crossing any major highways or major streets. Okay, so let's just play with this data for a while. Now this property is going to be problematic from a standpoint of appraisal, because up until now, when we entered 1.5, we only had 1 good sold comp, and that is just a dangerous situation where the appraiser has way more power than normally to decide what the house is actually going to be appraised at, and appraisers tend to be people who want to play it safe. So just letting you know that without additional sold comps that are similar in age, and the age is not very similar. So what I'm seeing is they have all kind of differences in age. It's a very unhomogeneous group of houses. 1977, 85, 900, 93, 2000, 1999. Our subject property is 1960. So these would be the closest one, but they're still active and they're low. So this is the problem. The appraiser needs to have some kind of the appraiser cannot just say that a house that was built in 1999 is the same as the house that was built in 1960s. The appraiser will never say that. The electrical system is different, the plumbing system is different, the materials are different, the compliance is different, everything is different. So how much will the appraiser adjust for the fact that the house is 40 or 50 years older than the comp? I do not know, but my recommendation is, whenever you can, try not to be in situations where you only have 1 comp that's not very close to you in year build. I mean, it's better than no comps, but still it's a situation where your ARV is under 3 large question marks. And if we look at this one, the one that is the closest, even though it's not very close, it is a custom built 1 owner home, Now the lot is a little bit smaller here, almost 0.3 acres. The other one was 0.4 acres. Non-choy, ready for a summer fun. Let's see how it's finished out. It's finished out rather well. You can see almost a complete remodel, even though I'm not sure about this combination of wood and gray. Long story short, it's a pretty modern looking piece. So I would be careful considering this a comp, simply because the appraisers, when they appraise, they need to be plus minus 10% on the age of the property, and this one is not. So 10% of 2,000 is going to be 200. So I would say that this one might be able to roll it back to let's say 1980s, even to stretch it to 1980s, but 1960s is a stretch. So the appraiser will definitely be taking points off. But the other problem is that appraiser actually needs 2-3 good comps, and we don't have them here. Everything else is active, and not only everything else is active, if you take a look at days in the market for everything else, it's pretty low. Okay, here is what I'm seeing for the comps. I see that they have 4 unsold comps, anywhere from 8 days in the market to 181 days in the market, ranging from 255. Obviously this is a fixer-upper, to then I still see the ballpark being kind of 415, 420, 485. That's the ballpark so far, and then they're not even selling at that price. And then closed we have just this comp. Imagine it, also they listed 520, been in the market for 55 days to sell at 510. But otherwise it's a pretty good close comp. So I would say that to me this is a little bit of a troublesome situation, because if somebody asks me what's the ARV on this property, I would not be able to tell you. What I can tell you is that homes at 420, 415, and 485 are not selling currently. Also, there were no sold comps recently, like in the last 10 to 12 months. This comp that sold at 510 sold when? Exactly 1 year ago. Exactly 1 year ago. And assuming that this guy, if the appraiser is starting to look at this property, let's just say not a year from now, because today is 1 year, exactly 1 year to the T. So within a couple of days, this comp will fall off. It will fall off the radar. And let's just say that it takes a couple of days, couple of months to flip this house, and then you're putting it on the market September/October/November. This comp will fall off. And then the only comp that are still left that hopefully for other people potentially will sell will be in this territory. So if I had to judge the ARV of this property right now, I would say it would be a safe bet to say that it will be up to 485, but not much higher than that, simply because those will be the ARVs for the area by the time this property comes around, this flip comes around. And also I looked up the exit strategy, potential exit strategy for rentals, and within 1 mile of this property, in the entire 12 months, from now back to 12 months, only 1 property rented. There are no other active, there were no other, just 1 property that was for rent at $2,000. And that to me also indicative that there is just not a lot of movement in this area. And just to confirm whether or not there is a lot of movement or not in the area, I pulled up my trusty little spreadsheet showing the months of inventory for different zip codes. And for this zip code, the months of inventory, take a look, for this entire zip code, 75119. They had 64 properties in the market, only 15 sold, making it 4.27. So it is definitely a buyer market in that market, and their average days in the market for those homes that sold was 43 days in the market. So whoever is flipping in a zip code, they can expect at least a month's delay to, no, well, if you're using 72 sold, let me back up. If you're using a traditional realtor, then you're probably looking at about 30 to 40 day sale cycle. Of course, everything depends on your starting price. The starting price is super important. If you're using the program like 72 sold, then in 72 sold, of course, you can be a little bit faster. That's what the program is for. But overall, I would say it's a slow market with slow moving inventory, not a lot of comps, and it's a very high possibility that when your appraisal comes back, you may not like it. That's it for now. If you have, people are sending me properties to review before they attempt to make an offer on them. Feel free to send me more properties to review if you're thinking about buying a property. Also, if you would like me to do videos on other topics, let me know. I'm always happy to help.